Good afternoon, class. Here we from Group 4 will discuss the letter of agreement. I will introduce my own group members. My name is Deni. I will discuss about the definition of the agreement letters in general and function of agreement letter. Then the term of validity of agreement will be explained by Mr. Wahyudi. Characteristic of agreement letter will be explained Mr. Samsul Hadi. Type of agreement will be explained Mr. Sampurno. Definition letter of agreement is a letter whose contents are an agreement or written agreement between the two parties. Agreement letter usually contain the right and obligation of each part making the agreement. Agreement letter is divided into two kinds. One, authentic agreement. Authentic agreement is agreement letters drawn up and attended by a government official as witnesses. As an example of a land purchase agreement in the village, where the agreement was attended by the village head along with 3 witnesses. Underhand agreement, letter of agreement made without witnesses from government official. For example, the lease agreement. Leasing. Function of agreement letter. 1. Authentic proof that certain parts have entered into an agreement. In here, the letter of agreement also becomes the basis in carrying out matters agreed upon by the party making the promise. 2. A reference when suing someone who violates an agreement. The agreement can be used as a reference when suing someone who violates the agreement that has been made in the agreement. 3. Creating a sense of calm for those who promises because there is certain in the agreement. 4. Now clearly the limits of right and obligation. 5. Avoid disputes. To avoid problems that could one day arise several years or later. 6. As a reference is resolving disputes, a reference to settle disputes that might arise as a result of an agreement being violated.
The validity of agreement written on shell paper or plain paper, efficacious with a stamp, matching clearly, willingly, and without correction from anywhere. The content of the agreement must be understood and agreed by the parties who mutually agree. Agreeing parties must be adult and patient and aware. The content of the agreement must be made clearly and in detail. The content of the agreement must comply with every law and moral norm. Thank you.
Okay guys, it's time to me to explain the characteristic of letter agreement. If we understand about that, we can make a letter of agreement correctly, and also we can determine whether a letter can be called a letter agreement or not. Okay, The characteristics of agreement letter are: the agreement must be based on law, decency, and binding public interest and order. The object of the agreement in the contract is clearly stated. The agreement was made on the basis of sincerity without coercion. In the agreement letter, one of the parties contained in the contract is competent person. The title of a contract in the agreement must be written in the contract, made concise, and clear. The parties involved in the agreement must be clearly identified. The agreement must contain a clear contractual agreement. The agreement letter discusses the settlement mechanism in the event of dispute. The agreement must be signed by both parties and one party. There are witnesses who witness and sign the contract. And the last is, there is copy of the contract. Maybe enough for me. Thank you.
Hello guys, here I submit type of agreement. Referring to the understanding of agreement above, there are several types of agreement commonly used. The following are the type of agreement. 1. Letter of sale and purchase agreement. A letter of agreement stating the seller is obligated to deliver an item to the buyer. Instead, the buyer is required to submit a sum of money to the seller. 2. Purchase agreement. A letter of agreement stating payment can be made in installment. The goods are handed over to the buyer after the agreement is signed, but ownership rights are still on the seller until the installments are paid off. 3. Lease agreement. An agreement the content agreement between the lease and the lease, whereby the leasing party pay a sum of money for the use of carded goods belonging to the rating. 4. Volume agreement. Letter made between the project owner and the contractor, whereby the contractor is willing and able to carry out work in accordance with the theme, specification, and the theme set or agreed by both partners. 5. Money borrowing agreement. An agreement made between the borrowing and the money lender, where the borrowing gets a loan amount from the receivable party and is obligated of return the money with interest within the agreed time. 6. Work agreement. A letter of agreement made between the employer and the worker. In this case, of object in the employment agreement is a work, service, or service. Example: type of agreement. 1. Letter of sale and purchase agreement. 2. Purchase agreement. 3. Lease agreement. volume agreement. 5. A money borrowing agreement. 6. Work agreement.